Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It's our special show where we preview the game, and this week's game is the Miami Dolphins visiting us, the Baltimore Ravens, on Thursday Night Football. Super exciting. We have a great show. Please subscribe to Raven Space on YouTube for the best content on the internet. We have 2 new videos. Yeah, so you have your daily, which you always have, but you also have your hype video for the Ravens versus the Dolphins, done by Steven. Shout out to you, Steven. And then you also, lastly, have the breakdown done by yours truly. So please check those out. Also, a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers. You guys help us so much. And now we're going to get into the show. First, we're going to talk about the offensive preview, then the defensive preview. We're going to give you an injury update. We're going to talk about your questions from the mailbag, and then the comment of the day. So we're going to hop right into the first portion, the first topic, the offensive preview. And you guys have been telling me for a long time, Jason, you stop making Joe Flacco our X factor. Stop making receivers our X factor. We want to win. We got to run the ball. And that's what I have for you guys today. My X factor is Alex Collins. Why? Because I think that Joe Flacco and the receivers will not be successful against the Dolphins. Joe Flacco, in my opinion, won't have his top 3 weapons either this week. Mike Wallace will play. I don't know if he'll be 100%. Bashar Perriman won't play. Macklin may play. He won't be 100%. I don't think he'll play, though. And Campanero is listed as doubtful, along with Macklin. So those 2, I don't think they're going to play, to be honest. So what do? You got to run the ball. The issue that we're going to have as a team is that running the ball is what we have to do to win. The Miami Dolphins strengthen their entire team. The best part of their team is their defensive line, led by Ndamukong Suh. So how are we going to win this? Our offensive line has to rise to the occasion. Offensive line for the Ravens versus defensive line for the Dolphins is the matchup to watch. And if they can even be okay, because the Dolphins' defensive line is physical. But if you can hold them and you get a small lane to Alex Collins, he has the burst and he has the energy to get those 4 yards, those 5 yards, and sometimes even break it big. So I think he's the X factor. But the most important, matchup is not him versus linebackers. It's going to be the offensive line for the Ravens versus defensive line. Can Joe Flacco help out a little bit? Maybe. I'm kind of sold now that Joe Flacco is not an elite quarterback, and he's not a quarterback that can make other players better. He's a good quarterback that you can win a Super Bowl with, but he's not a star. He's not an elite quarterback in my opinion. So, and now let me know how you guys feel about that. You guys might think he is elite. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you guys about it, so please do it. Now we're going to move to the defensive preview. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about Jay Cutler. I do not know if he will play or not. And it makes a big difference, right? If Jay Cutler plays, there's a chance that they could beat us. Jay Cutler is one of them quarterbacks that is a go or a bust, right? Either it works out or he throws interceptions. So I don't know. I have Terrell Suggs and the pass rushers as an X factor because that has been one constant that has been missing from our team in the last couple of weeks. And what happens is you see when you don't have that pass rush, quarterbacks complete passes on third down. And that's what's been happening. Now, they're not big, huge passes, right? We don't have the big plays. But 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, without a pass rush, to make him throw the ball before he wants to, there's nothing you can do, right? And especially in 3rd and long situations, which we are very good at 3rd and long situations. But we could even be better if we had a pass rush that was consistent. Terrell Suggs is usually consistent, but the other ones around him have not been. And Terrell Suggs, honestly, the ways he played game 1 and game 2, I kind of think he's slowing down. So if he can bring his play back up to those levels, I'll be happy because the first 2 games, he was a serious Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So we'll see how it works. I think the matchup to watch in this one is their number 1 receiver versus Brandon Carr. I believe it's Jarvis Landry, his name. He lines up a lot on the right side of the offense, so the left side of the defense where Brandon Carr plays. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. And if Jay Cutler's going to have a big day, he's going to be throwing it to that guy. So we shall see. Now we're going to move to the saddest part of the show, the injury update. And I know it's crazy to imagine that it doesn't stop, but it really does not stop, and it's honestly just sad to see. So there's a lot. There's a whole lot. I'm gonna read you guys the injuries. So just so you guys know, you got Terrence West, he's out. Max Williams is out for sure. They've already been ruled out. Doubtful, Campanero, Chris Matthews, Tim Williams. Right? I don't think Campanero plays. I don't know about Chris Matthews. I don't think Camp plays. Tony Jefferson. These are questionables. Jefferson, Levine, Macklin, Onsuar, Perriman, Skora, and Jimmy Smith, all questionable. That is crazy. That is insane. I read somewhere that it said 30% of the active roster was on the injury report. What? Right? What? And the ones I just read to you weren't all of them. They were just the game status, right? It's sad. It's crazy. I'm not going to harp on it. The Ravens are going to be the injured team. They're going to be more injured. With all the receivers hurt, Ben Watson is questionable again. So without Ben Watson and Max Williams, we're just limited. We're limited, and it's tough and it's sad, but we have to play through it. I know a lot of you guys, haven't been watching my channel because the Ravens have not been playing well. You don't want to hear the bad news. I'm sorry about that. And I don't want to hear it either. I don't like to do it, right? I got to do this every day. But that it sucks. We're going to be the more injured team, which just means we're probably going to be a team that is going to not win this game. So super sad. But you guys are going to cheer me up with the mailbag question of the day, sponsored by the Raven Space Patreon, where you guys can help support us, and in return we support you. You can think of it like a membership. It's super dope. So please check the description below for our Patreon page and see if it tickles your fancy. This question comes from Anthony. You guys can get your questions answered by putting the questions in the comments below. And Anthony asks, do you believe it was a mistake letting go Torrey Smith in 2015 to draft Breshad Perriman? And so this is a good question, Anthony, because there's two sides. So the first answer is yes. Torrey Smith is better than Breshad Perriman. And it's kind of looking like Torrey Smith will be better than Breshad Perriman would ever be. But the book is not done on Breshad, but it's not looking good. Especially when you can't catch the ball. And that's what he just can't catch the ball. And I don't know a receiver who has struggled so much catching the ball in college in his first 2 years in the NFL and has fixed it. Maybe he got to get a coach or something, but that's one thing. However, so the first answer is yes. It was a mistake. The second answer is no, because we don't pay Perriman like a top receiver, but we're going to have to pay Torrey Smith like a top receiver. And Torrey Smith is not a top receiver. Torrey Smith's a great player who can stretch the field, but right now he's a third receiver in Philadelphia. And if we kept him, we were going to have to pay him like the first receiver. The Ravens didn't want to do that, and Ozzie doesn't pay people who he doesn't believe in, that can be those milestone, cornerstone players. So I think Ozzie made the right choice, but did he do a bad job in getting his replacement? Yes. So thank you so much for your question. I really do love the question of the day. Let me talk to you guys. And also, that was a good question, but there weren't a lot of questions in the comments, guys. So throw some questions down there along with your comment of the day, which will go next. The comment of the day from you guys. No sponsor. Maybe you guys want to sponsor it. Let me know. But this comment comes from Derek Goodman. Remember the time we had a streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher? So I thought that was funny. I remember that time, Derek. It was a good time. Thank you so much for commenting. And that has been the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate it. We're halfway through the season. We're going to keep on trucking. And don't stop watching after the season's over. Come back for the off season. Come back for the draft. Come back for it all, because we're going to do it just for you guys. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.